Hello. I got my cards today. Let's do a cards. Let's do a cards. Let's do a cards. We got, oh, frig. Naturally, I've got to throw one of my hairs away before we get started. But I have my zinnies and my vase. And I have my matcha. Hello. Hello. Wow. So it's June. And again, whenever you find this video is when it's meant for you. But we've got June, baby. It's my month. Oh, it's my month. Turning 34 in 2 weeks. What the heck? When did I become 34? That's wild. Anyways, yeah, we're coming off, gosh, I'm just gonna throw it on the floor. So we had the Sagittarius full moon last night, a much needed injection of fun and lightness and childy energy and like, ooh, sweetness and inner child energy, please. I can even feel just like, I feel like May was so intense. The full spectrum of intense, you know? It was beautiful, it was scary, it was like things being triggered up to be healed, which is a beautiful thing, very necessary thing, but it's a lot of work and that can be scary. And yeah, I really feel, in order to paint one of the elements of May with a really broad, quick brush, is like so much came up to be healed that, you know, which is obviously really healthy and beautiful and necessary, but man, that can be a very overwhelming, very, thing that is natural to want to run from. So I think that already on day 1 of June, there's a lot of much needed, much deserved, I'm just going to throw my hair on the floor because, girl, much needed, much deserved lightness. Like I feel like things started to feel really heavy toward the end of May. So we're going to lean into that. We're going to lean into the fun and the freedom and the lightness and the connection and joy, and just like the Sagittarius Gemini axis, especially in June, is so sweet and it's so fun, and the fairies are here and we're out and we're present. So we're going to pull some cards and see what's going on. Just a lot of things to be grateful for right now. And I hope you're feeling that. We have the Devil. First, relax. This is exactly what I was talking about, where it's like, yes, there's a lot coming to the surface. That is something that you should be very grateful for. You know, one of my best friends and I yesterday were talking. She popped into my last live and I mentioned her YouTube channel, Mystical Fairy Coaching. Go give Rachel a subscribe and support all her videos because she's an amazing channeler, an amazing coach, and an amazing person. So give her lots of love and support. But we were talking about all these things that have been coming up, and like things that are triggered up in like the space of attachment, wounding, and even political figures and what they represent, and like putting an alchemical view on these things and seeing that and remembering that everything is perfect. Like, when you live by a principle of radical acceptance, you remember, and of course that's a remembering that we have to come back to over and over again, but you remember that everything is perfect. That person wouldn't be in a seat of power if it wasn't perfect in a way. And I know that that can sound like a very white and a very privileged and a very ignorant thing to say. And sure, I can only see from my white person point of view. I can try to humble myself enough to try to see through the eyes of other people. But I hope that some part of your soul can hear me out when I say, like, when I reflect some of what Rachel and I were talking about, where it's like, perhaps if this person wasn't in power, all of the revolution that has been necessary for so many years would not be inspired in people. Perhaps if the energy of illusion and hatred and separation, which is all an illusion, by the way, if all that like hatred and scary and separateness energy wasn't present, then the opposing force of so much love and connection and radical togetherness and community wouldn't be inspired. And big shout out to Rachel, because she is the source of so much of what I'm sharing with you right now with these points. And it's like, so I've got to give a shout out to my beauty marks. I've got pimple patches over them right now, but I have these beautiful beauty marks that have blessed my life. Because she's at the point in the game now in life when her hormones are switching up every few years and giving her delicious, wonderful stains on her sweatshirt and hormonal acne. Hi, for the first time in my life, I'm dealing with hormonal acne at the ripe old age of just about 34. Cool. We love a little spice to the face. Thank you. Thank you to my hormones. And thank you to pimple patches, because they're really, really good. Thank you to Trent and Owen. But anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to my beauty marks. So the devil. A few of my videos in recent time now have been woven through with this message of like, things are being presented in our lives right now that are bringing up things in us, bringing up wounding in us for it to be healed. And if we can work with that energy as gracefully as possible, as softly and compassionately and motherly or fatherly or parently as possible, and learn how to hold our inner child in these moments of triggering up and ask our inner child what they need of us, perhaps instead of seeking to numb that energy, seeking to ignore that energy, because it's totally understandable to want to numb or avoid or ignore that energy. These things are not a joke. This attachment stuff is not a joke. Being confronted with extremely toxic, extremely harmful people in power is not a joke. Seeing a lot of scary things happening in the world demands things of us that perhaps do not come with our original wiring. So like, there are a lot of things that happen in May that are calling on us to expand, calling on us to grow around them. I'm reminded, so one of my best friends from high school died when we were all 20 years old. And I remember this post that her poor mother, her dear sweet mother, made many years ago about grief, because Dana died like 14 years ago now. I love you, girl. She never leaves me alone, and I love that. Dana will never leave any of us alone. I was so freaked out. So I work at this place right now, and I saw this woman sitting at the bar where I work, and I was so freaked out because this woman looked like Dana sitting there, and I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, Dana's sweet mother made this post many years ago that was like, grief doesn't get smaller, you get bigger around it. So I've been reminded of that message so many times recently, where it's like, there is so much expansion being asked of us right now. There is so much facing of things being asked of us right now. And like I said in my last live, from a very compassionate place, I say this, but I'm like, I'm sure that there are a lot of people losing their minds right now out in the world with this energy that we've been presented with, starting with the Scorpio full moon at the beginning of May. Because, like I said in my last live, man, May was not for the children. May was not for the weak. There's a lot of abundance wounding being triggered up right now in the collective. There's a lot of restrictive energy, or at least like potentially restrictive energy coming up. So, what are we going to do? Are you going to fall, for lack of a better phrasing right now, are you going to fall victim to the lower vibrational end of what's happening. And it's funny, I just watched Queen Cup's newest video, Destiny. She is the reason that I make videos. She is the reason that I learned tarot with the ferocity that I did. If you're not already watching and supporting Queen Cup, that's her channel name, Queen Cup Destiny. She is the real one. She is like next level, other freaking universe type of reader out here. 444 on the clock. I just watched Destiny's newest video and Queen Cup, and the devil was a prominent message in her message as well. So I'm gonna try not to repeat anything that she said and just read this from my own perspective. There's a message coming through my consciousness right now about the chains. So okay, it's forming. We are being presented with a choice. It's like these things that are being triggered up and these things that we're being presented with are our work to do, whether we should accept that or not. So what are you going to do when the work is presented? Are we going to, the devil card represents addictions, the devil card represents shadow work, the devil card represents the darker parts of ourselves, the darker parts of life, perhaps on the lower end of the spectrum, shame, guilt, all these things that we would rather not face, all the less fun stuff of life. But it's like, I don't think I need to say this to you all, but like, we can't have the, what's a sunnier, you can't have sun card energy without devil card energy. Like, it just doesn't, it wouldn't even be dope to like live life that way. You would have no contrast through which to enjoy the lighter, beautifuler stuff of life if there was no darker energy. And sorry, but I kind of just have to share this message where it's like, and I say this with love and compassion, but it's like, have you ever met somebody who's never been through nothing in life? They're not really like the most interesting, fun people to be around. Sorry. Like, the people that I've met in my experience who have had everything they've ever needed handed to them on a silver plate are not exactly the most interesting people. So I'm not going to really get into that, but like, you see what I'm saying, where it's like, if we, oh, interesting. Okay. And I think it's a message, because everything is a message. It was a message that these cards were so hard for me to pick up. But you see what I'm saying, where it's like, there's more about these chains, where it's like, the chains represent the work there is to do in us, whether we are to accept the call to do that work or not. So it's like the chains are still going to be there if you drug them out, drink them out, promiscuous, whatever them out, if you try to ignore them, these things are going to try to get through your consciousness for the rest of your life until you accept the call, until you face them. So you might as well face them. And gloriously, it's like, you know, in my experience, the process of working through EMDR and the process of working in a healing capacity with psychedelic medicines has been very similar, where it's like you face the stuff in a very safe, lovely, supportive, healthy container. You face these things that are absolutely horrifying. You cry, you cry, you cry, you cry, you purge, you face the brutal things that you've been through, and then on the other side of it, you're 1 billion pounds lighter and you can now move through life free and clear, you see? So I think that is all I want to get across about the devil card, where it's like these people, there's a lot of union, like things being triggered up by a union in particular energy here, where it's like these man and woman are chained to each other. So it's like there's work that's being triggered up to do. And this could also represent somebody's inner feminine and inner divine masculine as well. You know, for lack of a softer, flowerier way to say this, we're chained to the work whether we face it or not. So what are you going to do? Are you going to face it and then reap the blessings and the beautiful gorgeousness on the other side of facing it? Or are you going to torture yourself and keep yourself tethered for God knows how long because you never turn to look at the monster that's chasing you in your dream? I had a couple dreams last night that might be pertinent for somebody. One in particular that I'm going to share with you, because the other one was a little more, the one I can't even think of a meaning for myself in yet. It was more light and just whatever. But there was, so one part of my dream last night was I was in the water, I guess the ocean somewhere, but it had like a ladder like in a pool out of it. And I was out in the ocean and I went under and I saw what looked like a shark swimming towards me. And I turned. My dreams are very vivid and very real feeling. And like when I wake up from a lot of my dreams, I can remember so clearly, even like the silent, unspoken thought processes that were happening in my head, in my dream. So I went under and I saw this shark coming towards me. And I turned from it. And I was just in my head going, all right, Jordan, you just got to swim out of this. You just got to swim out of this ocean. Stay calm. Stay calm. And just swim out of here as quickly as possible. And I don't know, I just like swam out of the ocean and climbed up the ladder out of it as quickly as I could. And that's all I remember from that part of my dream. But there's something significant there where it was like, I knew that staying calm was what was going to keep me alive. I knew that not screaming and flailing around was exactly what was going to save me from this shark. So there's something significant there around like dealing with whatever is presenting itself right now in the calmest, most measured way that we possibly can. Because kicking and flipping around and flailing or going off on somebody or acting from that triggered place, acting purely from that scared and or angry or triggered or whatever place is what's going to get the shark to eat you. It's what's going to get the devil to collect on your soul. And that's real big initiation energy. Where it's like, can you surrender to the sacred pause? Can you surrender to the fear without allowing it to make you lose your mind in a way that's going to turn this situation, whatever's presenting itself, into a 2727 on the timer when I look down, 9-9, wish fulfillment. In a way that's going to get your ass bit and make the situation way worse. So that's a warning for somebody. That's a call to initiation. That's a call to expansion. That's a call to stepping into the grace and the glory and the growth that is being initiated of you right now. The devil doesn't have to be as scary or as condemning of an energy as it may seem. And if the appearance of the devil card at the beginning of this reading scared you, then that's something to look at within your own self. With love. I think I'm gonna do an extended reading on the members, John, and I'm gonna put it on my Patreon as well, because there's a lot of stuff to touch on right now. And yeah, I feel complete with that, and I don't want to convolute that message too much for this video. I'm really grateful to be here with you all right now, because it's I was starting to get bit a little bit by this energy, and I'm really grateful for the space and the nourishment and the quiet and the softness and the slowness that I've been able to give myself the last few days. It's been much, much, much needed, because I'm right here with you all. I am right here in all of these energies with you all. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for this work that we're doing together. And I love you. And I'll see you soon.